Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I will call the meeting to order of the planning, excuse me. Last night. Of the select board meeting of Tuesday, July 15th, 2021. 2021.
So this is the agenda. So
thanks. Roll call, please.
Very good. Present.
Laura Schifrin present. And hopefully we get from Veronica soon. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank all of our military, both past and those currently serving our country here and abroad. All of our first responders, we owe them a debt, and also all of our volunteers, elected and appointed. We appreciate all of your efforts. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, and I also want to mention your families. I did need to mention your families because they need their support as well. Again, this meeting is being recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Is anyone else recording the meeting? Cindy, are you recording? We're not hearing anything? Okay. I do not have any additions or deletions for the meeting. And 1.5, review approved meeting minutes for April 29th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll take a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 4/29/2025.
And I second. I did have an opportunity to give some changes to Sabrina, and they are on the minutes. Yep. Did you look at them?
Yep.
You're good.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine with it.
Roll call.
Good. Aye.
Motion. Thank you.
I spoke to Veronica. She was not aware the meeting was starting at 5. So
He's not in consultants. Usually 6.
So she is on her way. I don't know how that wasn't communicated with her, so I apologize for that. I thought Sabrina mentioned it.
Okay.
So
we can go on with the
appointments.
Yeah, we can get some of this done.
Good.
Because the next meeting is at 5:30. Okay. Did you mention that to her that we have a public hearing, and not the public hearing, but the joint meeting with Water and
She'll probably be there
that's
by
at
then,
5:30,
right?
right?
Yeah, she'll be here for sure. I told her that you guys are just making all these various appointments.
Okay.
So she'll be here momentarily.
Okay. So 3.1, is there a motion?
I move that we reappoint Patricia. Sorry for all the names I'm gonna butcher. I move that we reappoint Patricia Giamillo to the Conservation Commission effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Good. Aye.
Laura Schifrin, aye. Oh, yes. 3.2.
I move that we reappoint James Drouin to the Conservation Commission effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Good. Yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. 3.3.
I move that we reappoint Rachel King to the Meeting Hall Gallery Committee effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2026.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Good. Yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. 3.5. No, 3.4.
I move that we appoint Cheryl Aldrich to the Meeting Hall Gallery Committee effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Good. Yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. 3.5. Is there a motion?
I move that we appoint Diane Blackenberg to the Meeting Hall Gallery Committee effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2027.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Washington, yes. 3.6.
3.6, I move that we appoint Geraldine Bezikas to the Zoning Board of Appeals as full member effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2030. Is that, I was going to ask if that was 5 years.
5-year appointment.
Is that,
They are varied appointments on that committee.
I just-
They're
I don't
scattered years.
I didn't know any committees that were 5 years.
I think that's probably not typo. You want to table that until?
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know if there's something on that in here.
Maybe,
Charter.
the CP zoning board.
Yeah,
Can I go to
and
3.7?
there's a lot of numbers, yeah, those 3.7, please.
I move that we appoint Pamela Fingerhouse, to the Cultural Council effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second, discussion. That's scattered, I mean, probably 1, 2, and 3 years.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.8.
I move that we appoint Joanne Rockenkima to the Cultural Council of Aging effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second, is there discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.10.
I move that we appoint Carol Sweener to the Council on Aging effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second, discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
This,
3.10.
one thing, all these Council of Agings are the same date, so those aren't scattered?
I don't know, we should check that. I thought they had scattered years.
I know the trustees, they always say.
That's fine. Let me see.
Council on Aging. Well, the first one is cultural, so it's not the same.
Yeah, there's 3 Council on Agings in a
So
row.
they have, according to the town clerk's website, they have 8 members and 3 of them will expire this year.
Yeah, they all have the same.
So they get 3 years again. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so that was, do you want to restate that one,
Yeah.
3.10?
I move that we appoint Tricia Baker to the Council on Aging effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.11.
I move that we reappoint Kevin Smith to the Town Properties Committee as the Conservation Commission representative effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2026.
Second. Any further discussion? Or if you want to go on, all in favor? Say
Goodrich, yes.
aye. Or aye. Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.12.
I move that we appoint Michael Newman to the Recreation Department as Summer Rec Counselor for Summer Recreation 2025 with effective start date 7/21/2025.
Second, any discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.13.
I move that we appoint Sam Mundelsted as a recycling center, to the recycling center as an attendant 2 with effective start date 7/19/2025.
Second, is there any discussion on that one? Is that all set?
There was, some questions regarding, finding a place to do the,
Oh, the medical.
yeah, the medical, but that's always part of the employee, process that we continue to have. That's the completion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.14.
I move that we appoint election workers effective 8/15/2025 until 8/14/2026 as follows. Wardens, Sharon Licassi, Betty Mae Tenney, and Geraldine Bezikas. Deputy wardens, Jessica Fanioli, Lisa Siaka, and Kathy Spofford. Clerks, Donna Pinkerton, Christine Emmanuel Hayes, Terry Zwicker. Ballot box clerks, Sandra Stevens, Brian Colby, Peter Buxton, Tim Heyman, and oops, I didn't choose more. Yep.
Okay,
Inspector, sorry, there's a whole other set. Inspectors, Clark Ioby, Donna Miller, Terry Zwicker, Sandra Starrett, Lynn LeBlanc, Deborah Stoll, Lisa Siaka, and Horseman, Elaine Martin, Lindsay Moran, Margaret Mazzola, Carol Sweener, Leslie Rahala, Patricia DeLong, Alexis Chikari, Mary Jane Churchville, Joanne Howard, Darlene Coit, Counters, Brian Fanioli, Pam Harmon, Don Hayes, Don Hayes, Carol Hoffs, David Chanel, Michael Foster, Rebecca Sufred.
second, any discussion? So on all of these, is this what they generally have for the year, all the positions? Is that by our charter, or is that just something that the state mandates or tells you how many we have?
Well, I don't know if there's a mandate of how many we need to have, but these are sort of the election workers that
I'm sure they have some extra things that somebody can show up or something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Nope. Hearing none, roll call.
Goodrich, yes.
Motion carries. 315.
I move that we appoint James DeRoyan to the Agricultural Commission effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Commission, I forgot one. Okay. Second. Any discussion? There's a number of people that have multiple committees, and that's great. We thank you very much. 3.16.
I move that we reappoint Kathleen Thompson to the Energy Committee effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2027.
A motion. There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If you can move. Roll call.
Goodrich, yes. We're on 316.
Veronica,
Thompson,
oh,
Energy
yes.
Committee.
Veronica Kelly, yes.
And Marcia Quinn, yes. Mark the time. 18. Okay. 3.17.
I move that we reappoint Ron Montgomery to the Energy Committee effective 7/01/2025 until 6/30/2028.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Kelly, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Marcia Quinn. 3.18.
Move that we appoint Carol Hofstas to the Town Properties Committee as a Planning Board Representative effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Again, thank those who are on multiple committees and boards. Roll call.
Sorry.
Veronica Kelly, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Marcia Quinn. So we went through all of the. So,
That actually was the one we had a question on because of the term. Is that, we
Oh,
thought it looked really long,
it does.
but let me just.
Yeah, the only one we didn't do is 36.
Okay.
So-
All right.
So, I'm looking at the zoning board of appeals composition. Robert Jusola He has a term that ends in 2029.
I think they are 5-year
Yeah,
positions.
and Darlene's
Sort of
ended in
appeals this?
2025.
That should be in the charter. Is it in the charter?
Here's the charter.
I was trying to find it.
Um,
But that would make sense though, if everyone has a different expiring year. If Roberts is 2029 and Darlene's was,
He must have gotten a 5-year, because he was appointed, I think, at the end of last year.
John Page is 2028, Victoria is 2027. So I think 2030 actually does make sense, given.
Okay. Yeah, well, other ones seem to get them, so that's how they're lining them up.
since you have that up, could you look at the, Historic District Commission? I want to see if Geraldine's on there too.
She is.
Oh, she
She
is?
is.
And when is her term up?
2026.
I have a concern, because oftentimes what I've seen are things that are denied at the Historic District Commission
Yeah,
or go to the CBA.
yeah, she's gonna have to recuse herself. They have something that's going before ZBA, and because she's on historic.
And I see that we have an appointment also for her for the Board of Water Commissioner.
Yeah,
I have a concern, that's all. I think that, yeah, there's people that serve on many boards, but I have a concern with that matchup. Because you could recuse yourself from either way, and it could be that, okay, I'll recuse myself from the Historic District Commission. But then at the ZBA,
yeah,
I think
concerned
there's
about
a
that too.
conflict. That's all.
in all honesty.
You know,
And I served with her on the historic. And I do appreciate everything that people are doing, but there's one thing to be on multiple boards that are appointed versus elected.
well, this is an
As well.
appointed board. This is an appointed board.
All of her
Historic
boards
District
are-
Commission,
Everything she's on is,
all the others.
yeah, they all are appointed.
Even
Finance.
I thought Historic District Commission was voted. I thought it was an
No,
elected.
no,
It's not?
no, historic commission is appointed by the select board. They're through volunteer forms.
Totally.
They're supposed to make recommendations. We have 2 vacancies, 3 applications, and they want to interview.
Okay, all right. I'm looking at elected offices. Yeah. For the trustees, Middlesex, and. Okay, all right. Well, still, I think there's a conflict between those two boards, or could be.
Yeah,
That people
Oh,
are
I know there
looking
could
for
be.
relief. And so if you go before one board and you're denied, and then you go looking for relief and you're sitting in front of someone, even if they recuse themselves, who is on the board that denied you,
mhm.
I just think it's a bad look. I don't think it's fair.
The charter doesn't limit the number of committees.
I don't believe so. No.
I couldn't find
No,
it, no.
you can be on 2 elected,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
have several elected
Yeah.
positions, so,
And-
anyway.
I mean, I did for
Oh, yeah,
many
no, no,
years,
yeah.
but, I don't recall, I never served on zoning, so, which would hear the appeals, kind of thing, so I never ran across that, but,
It's just that in my time as a select board member prior, a lot of the things that went to CBA were denials by historic district.
oh,
One of them being the grooming thing in West Townsend. There were others, there were several. And so they went to the CBA where they were either approved or not. I would not, as a resident, want to be denied by one board and then go to the board that provides relief and see the same person sitting there. So that I see that conflict.
Yeah.
With that appointment. That's the only one that I would question. That's all.
you okay with the convert?
Pardon me? Oh, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's
Okay.
different. That's
Okay,
totally
I
different.
do, thank you for pointing that out, and I.
It has nothing to do with the
So we're gonna
applicant.
pass on, we're passing on 3.6.
Well, do we have to vote? We should vote it.
Need to put it on motion.
Is there a motion? 3.6.
I move that we appoint Dylan Bezikas to the zoning board of appeals as a full member effective 7/15/2025 until 6/30/2030.
Second,
Okay, we did have some discussion
we did.
just now versus, we did actually make the motion before, but didn't act on it.
Okay,
We did.
Because we saw the dates.
yeah,
we're not
Because
sure
we
about
saw
the
the
dates.
dates, but now that we're
this
rediscussing,
back.
or bringing it up again,
I don't know who this is.
I think that,
That's just my opinion on that one.
experience counts.
The rest of them, going through this, the rest of them I was all good with.
Okay, so, we've had discussion, any more discussion?
No,
I will take a vote then. Those in favor?
roll call, right? Are we doing
Roll call.
Veronica Kell, no.
Foundation.
Laura Schiffern, no. Got it? No. So, that was 3.6. We've gone through, all the rest.
Of all the threes,
We have done all the threes now. Yes.
all right. And you
everything on
approved the
one was
minutes?
done, yeah.
But I had not a single suggestion on the minutes.
Oh, you must have done them after I made mine, because
Oh,
they're on here.
oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had not a
Thank you.
single suggestion. so,
Thank you. We did approve them then.
Good. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I missed the 5 o'clock completely. On my calendar said 6, but I seem to remember driving over here that we talked about this in a
Well,
meeting.
I was
And I just
questioning
didn't
myself.
change my
Did
calendars.
we forget to mention it to you?
No, I think we
I
talked
had
about it in
the
a
6 as
meeting
well, and then whited it out.
and I didn't change it after that meeting. So
Oh,
anyway,
I'm glad
sorry.
I called you.
Yes, I'm glad
Okay,
you
so
did
now we
too.
have about 4 minutes. What under number 4 do you want to take up?
We could go over the encroachment on Squanicook Meadow, 4.3 if you
Okay.
want, if that's okay.
You good with 2 minutes?
Yeah, I don't think it'll take long.
Okay, go ahead.
I did have an exchange with Nelson today and
Regarding this?
yeah,
Okay,
so there's a picture. This is something that's come up as we're working on the CR for the Tesa Fields and all. And so we're looking at the picture and we are looking at so there's I think I put it in there. Hopefully it's there.
It's the PDF.
It's a PDF, yeah.
Let me
And it's
join in.
under 4.3. It looks like there are 2 outbuildings outside of the property bounds. And it looks like it's someone that moved there in 2021. It's possible that they were existing when they moved there. I didn't look back to see, but I did talk to Adam about it because this is something that we discussed. If we're putting a CR on, and I can talk more during the reports at the end, but
CR's conservation restriction.
a conservation restriction, yes, thank you. So you can see the 2 buildings right outside. 1135 is the town property. 113519 is where the 2 buildings are outside of the property line. And even though there can be play in the property lines, that's a pretty big play. And I think it's on the town property. And this is pretty common for open space developments. You find encroachment a lot because people don't really know where the town owned property or whoever owns it.
so the buildings are theirs on their property, but
No, the buildings are on the town property.
they're
That
on the
white
town property,
building,
but they belong to the other property?
they belong to the address for 113519.
They only bought 2 years ago, there must have been a plan.
It's been there. I didn't look, I didn't go back and do the whole historical thing. I could, but I haven't.
Okay,
21 was when they purchased, it looks like, from the assessor's maps.
okay.
And this is the Mr. Mapper, and we've been looking at a lot of maps, and it's there for a pretty long time. And so it was probably it's probably existing when they purchased, but I don't know that anybody ever looks to see if you're a realtor If it backs up to open space, do you go and look and see what's in the woods back there? In this case, it's a sand pit, but still, it's pretty open. You would see
No,
it.
I was
It's
just
visual.
thinking from a financing point of view, the issue comes up quite a bit, that a shed's on their property, belongs on the other property, this is. or
Well,
it's
maybe
like
it was
right
a
on the line or over
refinance,
the
but
line.
the date is 2021 on the record. And sometimes when you do a refinance, the date switches from a prior date to a newer date.
That's true as well.
So
But-
I didn't look at that. I just looked at, here we go.
Go,
And,
okay,
and I talked to Adam about it and process. But typically when this has happened in the past, and it's the owner that has to do it and has to do a notice of trespass and, time to remedy. If not, then it's a trespass order. And if it isn't remedied, then it's a suit, you file a suit. So in any event, it needs to be addressed. And typically it's the land use coordinator who does that addressing.
Is this, we're hoping to put in conservation.
Pardon me?
We want it in conservation, correct?
We want a conservation restriction.
restriction on it.
So conservation has been working on the other property.
Conservation doesn't own that property, this property.
Yeah.
Although I think with Dudley Meadows, we gave them permission
So I'm
to
wondering
go
if
forward. I don't know, that's,
So,
that seems to be going well, just the
yeah,
one-on-one talking conservation agent. I don't know if
So-
that's,
yeah. In any event, that's the typical process, and usually it's the land use department that handles these things, which would be through the conservation agent, depending.
I actually spoke to him earlier, and yeah, it would be something,
And he's versed in it now,
yeah.
so might be the way to go.
Mhm.
We might want to talk about extra hours because this is not conservation owned property. Where Colby would handle it if it was Town of Townsend Conservation Commission. This is flat out Town of Townsend.
well, the Dudley Meadows one is technically not.
It's technically Town of Townsend.
And I know the intention is to
Yes, to transfer.
conservation.
Yeah. But, this one's a little different. So, anyway, that's the deal. And that's,
okay,
so,
we'll come back to it, I'm sure there's gonna be more to the story at some point.
well, I think that the committee would like the town to, do something about it. There's time in that we don't have a signed CR yet, but by the time we do, we would want that, addressed.
So then do we want to ask conservation to?
I can see, probably to start the process, maybe notifying the property owner.
Yeah, it could take some time.
Yeah, so I think it's better to start early.
Mhm.
And just,
I can try to get a history of it too, because if plot plans were mandated in 1980, so I'll go back to that. And if it's still all the same,
This is more recent than 1980 as far as the development goes.
okay,
So,
that's what I'm saying. It's gotta be somewhere.
okay. All right.
So do we need to conservation act as our agent?
I would like to, I think we should have a vote for that. If you want to wait and do a little more research, I'm okay with that too. Because it isn't like this is tomorrow,
Yeah.
that this is gonna happen. We're still working with, a CR
Can you
holder.
put this on the next agenda? I'll look at it before the. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me, what the exact address is. When I can write.
18.
Just get it to me.
Okay.
We are now at 5:34 and have Todd joined us.
Todd was on there.
yes,
Todd on there?
yep, he's on here.
I am here.
Okay. Do you want to call your moment with us? your joint meeting to order. We're at 5:34.
5:34, I'd like to call the Townsend Board of Water Commissioners portion of the joint meeting to order. Roll call vote, Todd Melanson, aye.
So lonely.
You have no idea.
So, Laura Schifrin, I would like to call the select board meeting or joint meeting with the water commissioners at 5:35 PM. Our joint meeting, roll call.
Veronica Cal present.
Good present.
Laura Schifrin present. Okay, Todd, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
Okay, so hopefully, our next volunteer will be helping you out. Is there a motion?
I move that we appoint Jalen Bezikas to the Water Commissioners as a full member effective 7/15/2025 until annual town election 4/27/2026.
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion?
Not on this end.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, yes.
Good, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Todd, how do you vote?
Yes.
You have to do it roll call, sorry.
Townsend Board of Water Commissioner roll call vote. Todd Melanson, Chairman, aye.
Okay. Very good, we are unanimous.
All right.
So I would like to, close our joint meeting with the water commissioners at 5:36 PM.
Thank you very much for your time. Todd Melanson closing the Water Commissioners portion of the joint board meeting as of 5:36 p.m. as well. You guys have a great night. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
And I to closing the meeting.
Aye. Yes.
Good night.
Good, yes.
All right.
We have closed the joint meeting with the water commissioners. And we have a new member, and now they can meet. Thank you, Jerry Lynn.
Excellent. Yes.
Oh, okay. What would you like to do next?
We have 4-2 municipal. Is there one?
Yeah,
One,
there's
right?
just one.
It was just one. The town clerk had sent it to the finance committee first, which they approved at the most recent meeting. So it's now up to the select board to review and approve. So this is for
For what?
4.2. So it's for 8 cents.
Which seems a little silly to me, but okay.
Well, we had a 3 cent or
Yeah.
5 cent last meeting.
I would really like to know if there's like a minimum requirement for the state.
I was wondering the same thing. It seems a little silly.
It costs more money to do it between all the
Piece
people.
of paper is more than makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to the CBIZ, our town accountant, to see if it's that stringent or if it truly is anything over budget needs to be, either made zero or.
Or if there's a threshold,
Correct.
if it's below $1
$10 or whatever.
or, no big deal.
I'll ask that question.
Thank
Do
you.
you, Sabrina, do you remember in the last, since you've been here, if you've had these kinds of transfers?
There was a smaller amount, but I don't recall that.
What's your pleasure?
I will make a motion that we transfer 8 cents transfer 8 cents to parking clerk other stipend from T clerk professional services street list.
And I will second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
And Laura Schifrin, aye. 8 cents.
Cool. It's
We have
4.4.
time for a reading, if you want to do, first reading
That's
4.5.
Or media relations policy. Was there any edits?
I thought it was just, oh, I don't
They're
see,
not done yet,
they're not done.
the edits, but this is
The
the
edits
first
were just-
reading, so,
The edits were just select board change.
Yes,
yeah.
and
this
what I'm
isn't
looking
done.
at doesn't have it on, it doesn't have the change. Let's move this then.
Yeah, we'll move, 4.5 to the next meeting.
I want to discuss the changes now and then have it done in one slide.
I thought we,
Is it just a change for select board?
It was just the last meeting was just.
Yeah, because we said we liked the policy. We didn't change anything in the policy but the headings.
correct,
Select board and the new headings, and then with the new policy number, and the board of selectmen would be select board.
Right.
And
And
then
there
the
were
signatures
several
would
places.
change. So why don't you have those, basically housekeeping changes for 4.5 to the next meeting?
Oh, I was looking at the comment.
No, we did media policy last one. We looked at
Did
it.
we look at our content?
we, are you talking about, assigning someone as
No.
a representative for the select board?
We reached out, but,
Why don't we try to get feedback from this week?
Yeah, let's get feedback and we'll move it to the next meeting.
Okay. So 4.5 is the next meeting, and we are to give our feedback to Sabrina in between,
Okay.
hopefully within the next week, okay?
Are there, did you look for policies, with the MMA or anybody like that, or no?
I got, I reached out, I got 2 or 5, but it's something to the few, so. Next meeting?
Yeah, and put whatever you have for us to review in the packet, I think.
So I did, so this is the media relations, the PR stuff.
Yes, this is PR.
Yeah, I did reach out to, someone, John Guilfoyle.
Uh-huh,
I did get a preliminary quote. It seemed rather high, and they didn't really have, sort of on-call type arrangements. It was more like, oh, you sign up for a year, or you sign up for a monthly fee with a 1-year commitment. So it didn't seem like that was something we were really necessarily looking for, so
I was looking for a retainer. kind
yeah,
of.
so I pushed back, and they're gonna review with their management to see if there's a more of a on-call type of arrangement that they can provide to us.
And is this the same, company that deals with the police?
Correct.
And can we piggyback somehow on that contract?
I mentioned
Yes.
that, but there didn't seem to be, they didn't, allude to the fact that, you know,
That was a test.
that their proposal somehow, you know, piggybacked off.
Okay.
There was,
And that's what I was doing that. It was, really, so moving.
there was another service that they provided that piqued my interest, which is website.
Oh,
So I have a
Website management?
website management, so I actually have a meeting with them virtually on Friday
okay.
with their, that part of the company that deals with the digital aspect of things. So I want to hear what they're capable of, and more importantly, what the cost is.
Would you like one of us to be with you on that call, like Val or Veronica?
It's a very introductory meeting, so why don't I
So
what MMA said
They
was
might have-
appointed to a
Veronica, do you have any
website
questions specific
Okay.
to that?
and the two firms that that could be recommended or something like that.
Mhm.
And then, MMA just kind of said they're doing webinars and things like that.
Okay. I'd like
And
to
they
get
have a
to,
listserv of communities.
Okay, all right.
back to the agenda.
Back to what you said, I would just like to hear what Nelson finds.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, once I have the meeting, I'll report back to the select board on what they're capable of doing and what they're proposing.
So we should put both the policy and working with a public relations firm as an agenda.
Okay.
And it could be website management as well, rolled into the whole thing. Okay. Thank you.
My agenda trying to straighten out.
So many papers.
Yes.
I think it's 5:45, so.
This is Laura Schifrin, and I would like to call the joint meeting with the Board of Health to order at 5:45 PM on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Roll call.
Veronica Kell present.
Good present.
Laura Schifrin present. Christian?
I'm waiting for my board members I don't have a quorum at this time. I know that Todd is on his way here and Paul as well, so I don't have a quorum as of yet.
Okay.
Well,
Do you mind if I try to get something else done?
Yes, I don't mind. Yes.
so should we suspend
Oh, yeah,
our
this is fine, yeah.
meeting until
So my,
your group gets here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Christian.
Mhm.
Do we have to formally suspend or, and
Yeah,
then,
probably,
and then
I make a motion
I'll
to
take a motion to
suspend
suspend, okay.
the joint meeting.
Is there a
Second.
second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you all very much. See what we can do.
How about the animals in public meetings? 4-7, is that ready for reading?
And 7, oh, yeah, I think that's it.
And that's
Can we
fairly
change on
short.
that one?
Well, not for me, but, red line will be back.
Oh, the red line's back.
On this policy. Okay. Okay. Oh,
4, which is it? 4-7?
okay. So should we discuss the red lines? Is that the plan here?
So, I mean, if we all agree, I could also read it with the red line changes for a first reading. If you want me to.
I'm good with
I'm
that.
good with that. This is not, maybe not.
I think they might be still waiting for Paul as well.
Oh, okay. Well, Paul's on.
Oh, he is, okay.
Oh.
Then you do have a
He's
form.
there. No.
Okay, so
All right.
let's unsuspend our meeting.
I'll take your motion.
I make a motion to resume the joint meeting with the
Thank
Board
you.
of Health at
Everything is
5:49.
suspended.
5:49.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 It's 5:49 PM, joint meeting, Board of Health with the Select Board. Roll call, Dr. Christian Roman speaking, present.
And Todd Oswald, look, president, finally.
Did Paul disappear?
Paul Serene. I'm still here.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Thank you. So regarding the Board of Health, right now, since the last meeting, we don't have any current updates regarding the 3-year extension of the trash contract, Shaw's is still reviewing that. That,
The 2-month
the
extension?
3-year,
The new 3-year
he is
contract,
reviewing that, yes.
not the 3-year extension.
No, the 3-month, the 2-month extension.
He's still reviewing the 2-month
No,
extension?
no, he's reviewing the 3-year extent, the new contract.
The new contract.
The new
Okay,
contract,
okay.
yes, no. For the extension, we don't have the minimal, the document that
Prevailing
the
wage.
prevailing wage.
Yeah.
The situation is that, if the select board doesn't approve the contract, my concern is that, if anything happens, like any injury or something, the town will be responsible at some point, is my understanding. What I'm recommending the select board is that, since that's the only document that we are in need, to have the extension to be approved per pending what is the name of the
Prevailing
document?
wage.
The prevailing wage.
Yep. So you guys can probably make a motion to approve it, and sign it out of session, pending receipt of the prevailing wage schedule from the state, which I think you guys are all aware, that portion of the state is really behind schedule. Towards the end of June, they switched over to a new computer system. Probably the worst time to do it because everyone in the state is probably looking for new wages that are effective July 1st. So folks like me, I never got it, so I ended up putting 2 additional requests into their system. That kind of, I think, overwhelmed and exacerbated things as well. So I did finally get a hold of someone. They sent me a voicemail. I missed a phone call, and they say they are aware of the issue. They're working on it, but they also advise us to refrain from putting in more requests because that's going to bog down their time to catch up. So this was middle last week. I'm hoping in the next day or two, they finally caught up and will send us the prevailing wage schedule that we've requested 3 times now since late June. So that really is the only thing holding up the 2-month extension with Shaw's. So
this went through legal, because I know last time it hadn't been through.
No, it went through legal. It went through legal, and
We were waiting for.
and they're waiting for that document. That's why the Board of Health is encouraging the select board to sign it per pending the document that is needed. But
Prevailing wage.
yes,
But everything else is resolved, like the $195,000 bond.
No, that's the new contract. That's not what we're signing. That's not what we're voting on. We're voting only on the 2-month extension.
Which is all
Correct.
approved by town council.
Well, except for
Prevailing wage.
prevailing
this
wage.
is Sam Vasquez's email.
Yeah,
That says the form should also incorporate the current prevailing wage sheet as Exhibit 2, which is what we are missing. So it looks like what's here is the recommended 2-month extension form from town council.
Correct.
And then they said to attach as Exhibit 1, the extension terms, that's Shaw's price proposal, which is what this is. And then the Exhibit 2 is the prevailing wage. By law, any exercise of an option to renew or extend the contract term requires a new prevailing wage sheet if the existing one does not cover the extension period, which does not. The only one on file is from June of 24 and would not cover the 2-month extension. So I am good with having it signed once the prevailing wage sheet is attached. I'm
But this-
okay with,
but this was effective already July 1st.
that is correct. Sabrina has a question.
Once the prevailing wage sheet is attached, it goes to town council.
Yeah, I was gonna say, town council.
Sign first.
Yes.
Well, it goes to GW Shaw, they sign it.
Yeah, Shaw has to agree to it and sign, then it goes to town council, and then it gets signed by all of us. Looks like what's attached here is already signed, I don't know. I don't know, anyway, but not by town council or Shaw. So, I don't think.
So you want me to make a motion to,
We need a motion to the effect that we've agreed with the 2-month extension contract.
I'll make a motion to, sign the 2-month extension with GW Shaw from July 1st to August 31st, pending addition of attachment of the prevailing wage sheet as exhibit 2 after signed by town council.
There's a second.
And Shaw.
Out of
correct.
session. To be signed out of session.
And Shaw, but
And
signed.
just after signed by GW Shaw and town council to be signed out of session. You get that all?
I will second that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Any further discussion? We understand it. Roll call.
Before we do the roll call vote, further discussion, I want to talk about the purple bags. Can I do that in this joint meeting after?
What specific of with the purple bags want to talk
Why don't we
about?
finish the motion?
Yep.
Yeah,
Finish the
okay.
motion and then let you ask the question.
Okay, Veronica Cal, aye.
And Laura Schiffern, aye.
I'm reading a lot on Facebook about how it's the selectmen's fault that we have purple bags. Can you talk about that?
Well, I don't.
Because I'm curious.
I don't have control on what is shared in Facebook. I mean, this is something that the public has voiced, but I mean, this is not something related to the Board of Health from my understanding. I mean, sometimes I follow up on Facebook, sometimes I don't, but I mean, I don't have, what do you mean, what are they saying about the select board about the purple bags?
I can read directly. That there is a grant, let me get the pictures up here. So someone had asked if the purple bags were being phased out. The 3-year implementation plan is on the website, and phasing out the bags is absolutely part of the plan. However, due to the grant and how the select board handled things, we are stuck until we meet those conditions first. Others, I don't trust or believe anything our select board or town administrators say, but trash was purposely removed from the town. If that was because the override in April failed. Trash was absolutely in the select board budget, but the override failed, so the tax base cannot pay for it. We understand that, right?
But it failed again because we left trash in for the 625.
The 625
Also
override failed, and that is why we don't have trash in the tax base. However, it's in the enterprise fund, and that 125 is outside of the tax base. So we understand that, correct? So it was not because the select board removed it for some nefarious purpose. It was because the town said they would not pay for it within the tax rate. Is that correct?
So again, I don't have control on what the people are commenting on, whether who is attributing responsibilities. And here the board, what it's doing is that since for the reasons that you're exposing, that the trash was left out on the tax levy, the Board of Health then came in and implemented the enterprise account so that that need of the trash would be taken care of without hurting the tax levy.
Base. So we are in charge of the tax base. Board of Health is in charge of the enterprise fund, which is outside of the tax base. I don't think people understand that. Right. And I think there's a lot of misinformation being put out on Facebook, making it look as if we were doing something nefarious, which in fact.
I don't think it was you. I think it was previous.
Well, it isn't even that at this point, okay?
No.
So originally, there was the grant that came for the 3-year, and I'm not an expert on this or what happened, but the grant, there was grant money available from the state if you went into the pay-as-you-throw program, okay?
Right.
So that's what happened then, and just how it got there, I have no idea. But now, you have an enterprise fund, and what I've heard coming from all the explanations of the enterprise fund was the purple bags were not going away. They were
So,
gonna be part of how you were gonna run the trash.
so on the 3-year projection that we did, and when we had the joint meeting at the public hearing with the joint meeting with FinCom, on the last phase, it was voted that probably the bags will be phased out. But again, that is pending on our analysis on what we
But that's
get
for you
on.
to decide,
Right,
the
right.
Board of Health.
Not the select board. Trash is entirely outside of the select board and therefore the tax base at this point. Is that correct?
So right now, again, the
Is that
Board of
correct?
Health have to assume the responsibility of having the trash to be uninterrupted because it was not part of the tax levy. And that's where we
Correct.
came in order to save the program and to not interrupt the services.
That's
So,
correct. It was not part of the tax levy for FY '26 because the $625,000 override failed. It was in that override. Had that override passed, we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. So I just want to make that clear. So that is clear, correct?
well,
It's out of our hands.
It's out of
It's
our
in your
hands.
It is now, yes, you're absolutely right, 100%.
Thank you.
That, we know that.
I think there's a lot being said online to make it look as if the select board has done something out there. My fear is that it will affect the way people vote for the override that we absolutely need. So, and trash is not part of it. That's separate.
Anything else?
so regarding the other contract with Waste Zero, right now, there's been a back and forth with legal from our side and legal from Waste Zero too, because from what I read, and this is the little I can understand, if Carla can jump in, regarding that, there's a specific language that our town council is asking for Waste Zero to be added on the language in order to move forward with the contract. So right now we are kind of like stuck between our two legal counsels with town council on one side and Waste Zero on the other side. So that's something that we don't have any updates.
And-
Come on, Carlos.
Carla, can you share with us?
Would you just clarify who Waste Zero is?
So Waste Zero is the program that we contract for the fabrication of the purple bags.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Carla?
Oh, thank you. So thank you for having us. We don't have the contract in front of us. There is wording about the state contract and Waste Zero, and the lawyers are debating it. I'd be happy to forward you the draft tomorrow morning if you'd like to see the draft of the Waste Zero, but it's not final now. There is a red line version that has gone to Waste Zero from our town council, and they should be responding. They were on vacation for 2 weeks, which really, the Waste Zero legal team, so we really had to wait, and they didn't get back into the office until July 7th. So our first email was actually today from them.
Okay. All right. So Waste Zero is the purple bag. The grant is the grant from the state, the 62 or 64K
Mhm.
that we signed in December.
Right.
That is a grant if you use the purple bags for 2 years. Last year was the first year. This coming year is the second year of that grant. And all of those grant funds are transferred to the enterprise account. So the select board hasn't kept any of that money, even though there were tax funds involved for FY25. And the first year of that grant was for FY25. I just want to make that clear, that the entire 62K is going into the enterprise fund to support trash pickup in Townsend.
Thank you.
I think maybe a point of clarification too is just why we have to sign these contracts, even though it's an enterprise fund. Because I think that was the question that I got. If it's an enterprise fund, the select board still has to sign the contracts as the executive.
That is because,
all contracts
Yes.
for the
So
town,
this is just for the public.
we are the
because-
chief executive officer.
So even though it is controlled and run by the Board of Health, we still have to sign the contract.
Correct.
but however, there is on the bylaws that states specifically that when it is contracts of over $5,000, it needs both board signatures.
Yes,
The
that
select
is true.
board and the Board of Health.
So I just want to clarify that for the public too. It's still under your control. We just have to sign the contract financially. As executive.
And because of that, because we have fiscal responsibility, that's why I was looking for the out clause in the trash contract.
And that's
it
why we
is
have to
there.
have joint meetings to both sign.
It is there. So I think it's a 14-day. In case there aren't enough funds in the enterprise fund to cover trash pickup. And I at least would think that when people are signing up for the sticker, they should understand what they're signing up for.
So just a clarification, because our board member, Mr. Arsenault, had shared as an idea that if by a projection of 6 months, if the program doesn't work, then we would end up returning the monies, correct?
Is that possible? Is that a thing?
So according to some search that Carla did about the enterprise account, since the nature of the enterprise account, that any negatives, if we can put it this way, will be rolled out for the next for the next year. And again, since we are still assessing and evaluating what is coming in and so forth, we just that is, and as you know, that's how the enterprise is created, because we just can't, like, at the middle, just say it doesn't work and we return the people's money. We have to, that deficit will have to roll over on the next year. Correct, Carla?
Yes, that is correct.
And if that's the case, how is that deficit going to be paid when everybody finds out that they're going to pay 125, which is actually, because the contract goes up 100,000 for the next year, they're not only going to be paying 125, they're going to be paying an extra 100 on top of that, so 225 plus an additional amount for the deficit. And I'm saying this because we don't have money in the tax levy to cover the deficits in that account. So I think that you guys really need to talk about that, because my vote would be to cancel it out at that point. Sure, you can run a deficit, but is it realistic? I think you have to think about that. And I think if people find out in May that we don't have enough to pay Shaw the next year, because unlike, there are people that seem to think, oh, you know, if we had gotten all that money, we'd have over $1 million in a year. It doesn't work like that, because that money gets paid out as you're going along. Didn't work that way for the 25 years of trash in town. That money came in and that money went out. It wasn't sitting in an account earning interest, and it won't be doing that this time either, because the monies are coming in and the monies are going out. And because of that, it's very possible, depending on a lot of dependings, how many people sign up, how much the tipping is cost. There are a lot of moving pieces, meaning we don't know what X is and we can't define it ahead of time. We can only make projections. And some projections are such that we run out of money. So do people understand that when April comes, if there is not enough money to pay for May and June, that they will need to find a different way, or you guys are going to need to be asking for more money at that point to cover it for the rest of the time? I think you need to think
But
about it. I'm not looking for answers.
I am very positive, and Carla can attest that we've been having long lines of people coming to the Board of Health, and at least less than 2 people are saying that they don't want to be part of the program, but everybody that Carla has been in contact with, that has been coming to subscribe to the program, everybody is happy with what we're proposing. And I am very confident that we will be able to get this running. So
I think it can start out okay, but I think you can also, I'm positive on it. I think it's good. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I want to be realistic about it, because if the projections are such, and you can make your givens, and do some work on that, and say, okay, we know we're going to need this, and we're going to have this amount of money at this point. And the what ifs.
I think that's what we're gonna focus, not only on your calculation, we're also gonna focus on the what if this does not, and we're gonna get to it before it gets too late.
And I think people need to be aware of, everybody's coming in, signing up. That's cool, that's great. Do we have a count? Do we know how many have signed up so far?
She does, yes.
And what is that number?
Carla's
Okay,
I don't remember off the top of my head today.
Well, there's Carla.
Carla, did you want to say something?
Yes, I have several comments. I'm confused over Veronica's comment that it's 125 this year and then it's going to be another 100 the following year. I don't understand where that
I'm just looking at the
equation
cost of the contract.
came out. But it is our goal to have, because the municipal dumpsters all throughout town will not be counted as trash for the residents, as well as recycling for the people who have gone private but still put their recycling out at the curb, because the current contract allows that the tonnage and the recycling tonnage and the trash tonnage will be diminished incredibly in order for us to make this program affordable. As Christian said, we don't have a crystal ball. We are creating a database that has very detailed information. And I am personally meeting with each person to give them the stickers so I can assure them that all their questions are answered. And I know it's difficult for the people to come into the office, but it's imperative that they feel comfortable and confident in this program. And every person who has come in has signed up, except for one person who had 16 people in her family, and I advised her that it was not cost effective for her. So it's overwhelmingly, we have approximately 400 people that have signed up. We, not everyone who has signed up has paid. Some people sign up and then they say, I'll pay when I get the sticker, and that's fine. We're logging in. We're also asking them, where is the sticker being placed? So on the day of the week, Tuesday through Friday, I will be able to hand a hauler the list of everyone who has signed up and where their stickers are, because some people are not placing it on their trash or recycling receptacle. They're putting it on their mailbox. And what we want to make sure is that the trash is not interrupted Labor Day weekend when it could possibly be very hot. We want the transition to be smooth. Another reason why there's a 2-month extension, which the town has also, the Board of Health has absorbed the municipal dumpsters for the 2 months. So I appreciate what you're doing, but the Board of Health is also working as a whole to create this program that's affordable and accessible to the community. And we're opening up the office on Saturdays from 10 to 12 to make sure that people who cannot get there 9 to 5, I'm available. And it's just been a very positive response. Monday, I had over 107 phone calls. I am averaging about 75 a day right now, and it is a constant run. There is a line, but people are okay. They just have questions. And that's why I feel that it's very important this first year that I can be there to explain any questions and make them feel safe and comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? We certainly wanted to succeed. We supported it. So I already paid for my sticker. Yeah.
We just have to protect the town if in
right.
fact it doesn't, because we do not have money in general government to cover the trash.
I don't
That's
think
all.
any of our questions should be taken as against the program.
No,
just
it's
fiscal.
not. It's just
Exactly, that's
fiscal
all.
responsibility.
And I think I speak with, on behalf of my board members, but I think that we understand, the Board of Health understands the responsibility of the select board on this matter. But, but also keep joining team efforts, because, I mean, look at the numbers that Carla had mentioned on the people, and the money's coming in too. So, I mean, it's just, we don't, I mean, the Board of Health doesn't have any issues with the select board whatsoever, but what the Board of Health wants is that we Board of Health and select board work as a team together, because I mean, it's our town, and we don't feel, we're not in, this is not a war zone, and we don't have any animosity, but it, at some point, it has been tough for the Board of Health, because at least I can say that we felt that at some point we were not, we didn't receive that encouragement from the select board at some point because of the questions. But I understand, and we understand the responsibility that the select board has with the town, and we want, and we know that this is going to work. And if it's not going to work, as Mr. Arsenault said, we are going to address it with sufficient time, and we will come to this table and talk about it with you people.
Well, we're going to think positively that you are going to work, and you'll end up having an overage of money.
In theory, it's
That's
gonna
what we
explode.
wish.
In theory, I mean, yes, this should take off and it should do what they would expect.
Okay.
We expect.
In theory, yes.
In theory, of course.
It should.
But, you know, things do happen,
And we support that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So don't fail.
We'll try.
Okay,
Thank you very much for having the joint meeting with us. We appreciate you guys.
can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Who seconded it?
Paul, do you want a second?
Yeah, he seconded
I
that.
see it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Roll call.
Roll
Roll
call,
call.
Dr.
You
Christian
have to
Roman
roll call,
speaking.
and you'll have to unmute Paul, please.
Do I have to?
No, Paul
No,
does.
Paul does.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's to roll call votes to adjourn.
I don't know why he's getting in trouble. He's not unmuted.
Okay,
Let's see.
roll call to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Okay, can we take that
Can
raising
we
of the
do,
hand?
Yes, we can take it.
Paul,
Yeah.
Paul is, oh, there he
Oh,
is.
there you go.
I just got it to work.
Okay,
Okay.
state your name
So,
and your.
Charles Paul Serene. And I second that to adjourn.
Okay,
And all in favor? Say,
Aye.
adjourn by your name.
Todd Arsenault, clerk, I second that.
Okay. Dr. Christian Roman speaking, chairman, and we adjourn tonight's meeting at 6:20 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, board.
it was a roll call
All right,
vote.
thank you.
And Paul did state his
and we
name.
have to adjourn.
I'll take a motion to adjourn the select board joint meeting with Board of Health at 6:19 p.m.
Second,
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Callahan.
Bye, Goodrich, aye.
And worship or not. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, trading spaces.
6:15. We're a little late. Sorry, planning board.
That's all right. We do not have a quorum, so we're here.
Information.
Oh, Joe is
Informational.
here. We don't have Robert or Carol.
I don't believe we did.
Okay.
So can we just, then we just don't vote, but we can get the information?
We do, and we have Joe from MRPC here who has a presentation prepared to give.
So we don't have to call the joint meeting because we don't have a quorum. So, all right. Andrew, do you want to introduce who's going to be speaking to us?
Sure. So Andrew Shepherd, Chair of the Planning Board. Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it.
Harvey Plashaw, Clerk, Planning Board.
And tonight we have on the screen Joseph Boyle, who is with MRPC. He's been working with us. It feels like forever, Joe, but I believe at least like a past year. And he has a presentation plan tonight to discuss the progress we've made on the MBTA Communities Act and what we've prepared thus far.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Joe.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Select Board members. It's nice to be meeting you. And good evening to the Planning Board. It's nice to see you all again. As the chair described, I've been working with the Planning Board for the past, it's about a year and a half, actually. I went back through the documents and I first met with you in the fall of 23, if you can believe it. So I don't actually have a visual presentation. I'm here to provide a narrative for where we've been going, provide a description of the bylaw. You've had the documents to go over, and I wanted to make myself available just to answer any questions about the process, the district, the bylaw, and how we got there. So to begin with, after the Commonwealth passed the Housing Bond Bill, which included the MBTA Communities Act in 2022, MRPC worked with communities to develop a compliance plan, a plan for how they were going to bring their zoning into compliance with the new law. The new law, the MBTA Communities Act, requires communities to adopt a multifamily zoning district in which multifamily zoning is allowed by right at a density of 15 units per acre. And the size of that district for a community like Townsend, which is called an adjacent small town, because you abut Fitchburg, which has a commuter rail station in it, so Townsend's positioned are required to have a district which is large enough to fit 5% of the town's total housing units in the district at the density of 15 units per acre. For Townsend, that came out to, I believe it's 137 units. And we worked, Townsend came, and so Townsend, working with the MRPC before I came on, developed a compliance plan to choose a district and develop a bylaw, present it to the community, and have it passed at town meeting. Now, initially, if I can get this up and then share, the town has been considering throughout this process 3 locations. You can see on this map, you can see this is Route 13 here. And the 3 locations were District 1, which is mostly inside your outlying commercial district down by the town line. This is Old City Road here. District 2 was further down Old City Road, and District 3 is much further up Route 13, about halfway to the center of town. After some back and forth, the District 2 was eliminated pretty quickly. It was considered to have A, too much neighborhood impact, and B, to only be accessible off of winding, narrow Old City Road. that was the board decided that that one could be pretty easily eliminated. So then the board considered both of these districts, went back and forth between them, but ultimately came to the decision that District 1 would be the preferred location. It would have less neighborhood impact. It was not as intimately with existing single-family neighborhoods. And it was decided that this could work. During this same process, during the same time, we were also working to develop the bylaw, which you've had made available to you. It's pretty standard for what communities are doing, allowing density and whatnot, allowing multifamily densities. But there is one innovative choice that the planning board decided to pursue, which was to not only allow multifamily housing at a density of 15 units, up to 15 units an acre by right, but to also allow what we're calling a second ramp for developers. They are allowed to build the multifamily if they want, but this bylaw also makes single-family homes and two-family homes on 6,000 square foot lots by right under the zoning, just like the multifamily. The goal there was to provide to get more of a mix in the residential development that is produced, not to have it be exclusively one thing, one campus of the same multifamily housing, but to provide an option so there could be a mix of singles, twos, small multi, and larger multi. This was in particular something that the board was interested in when they were looking at the District 3 site further north on Fitchburg Road, because it had very difficult topography. And the idea there was to allow to allow the developers to fit in housing as they could.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly, yes, I'm here for that tonight.
When you're talking about that second ramp, the zoning you're referring to is only within the district that we're discussing for MBTA communities?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay.
It
Correct.
doesn't apply to the rest of
Correct.
the town.
Right,
this.
only that district.
Right.
Joe, just,
Thank you.
I want to interject really quickly. It's actually 178 units.
178.
No,
I apologize. I'm doing more than one town at a time. Yes,
And then-
but yours is 178.
Um,
One more thing, Joe, he can elaborate on it a little bit more, but I know there were other locations as well that were considered, I think
Early on.
very
yes.
early on. And
yes.
not all of those came to us. as a
Yes,
planning
those
board.
were-
A much larger number of sites that were considered.
Yes, those that was before I came on, but I understand those were very quickly eliminated. And these three that the districts 1, 2, and 3 that I shared before were what was left after all of those others were eliminated. So, because this district is in a commercial, this is an overlay district. Okay, an overlay district, briefly, the underlying zoning still applies. Developers are allowed to, property owners and developers are allowed to have all of the rights they have under their underlying zoning, the underlying outlying commercial district zoning, if they wanted to build commercial. But this also, but the overlay zoning gives them additional rights to build multifamily and as well as single and small lot, single and two family zoning as well. So they get to choose if they want to go in one direction or another. Now, in drawing this district,
Joe,
yes.
can we reiterate that it is mixed use? So
It
if they
could
wanted
be.
to build a mixed use building with some commercial as well as residential, it could be done.
Yes, it could be done. They'd be drawing on both. The commercial element would be allowed by the outlying commercial district zoning, and the residential element would be allowed by the multifamily overlay. So
And we are down to the piece that's on the Lunenburg line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. A little
We
louder.
are down to the piece that's on the Lunenburg line.
It is almost to the Lunenburg line. There is a
Okay.
narrow strip, but it is almost on the town line.
Can you
Because
tell me?
it's zoned outline commercial, we wanted to protect the commercial development potential of this. We didn't want your commercial land to be all taken up with residential. So the shape of the zone, which I can bring up if you like, is in the back. The front, almost all of the frontage along Fitchburg Road is outside of the overlay district, so that it is still just the outlying commercial district. And then it's the area behind it will be the overlay district. As you can see on the map that was included in your packet, with one extension going out to the road. The goal there was to make sure that the residential project that was built there had both a front door directly from the main road on Route 13 and wasn't dependent entirely on Old City Road to be for all of its access for all of the units. So that's where that pork chop shape comes from. It's an attempt to maintain the maximum commercial development potential on this lot on the most desirable commercial land up front, while allowing the residential development behind it.
Can you tell me how many total acres this is?
Yes, just one moment. I can pull up
I'm not seeing it in here, but it may be.
I don't know if it is.
Yes, it's not on that, but let me share this with you. In producing these MBTA communities, bylaws, and districts, the state analyzes them using what's called the compliance model. It's basically a fancy Excel spreadsheet in which they have a certain amount of equations already drawn in so that they can and it uses GIS data to look at the shapes and come up with a model of how many units can realistically be produced in the district. So let me share that with you as useful information there on the summary page. So the total district acreage is just a little bit over 12. Okay. And and it models out to just over your required number to 183 units. Okay, well, I'm so also other information on here is, you see, it works out to the 15 units per acre on your 12 units. Your minimum capacity is 178, and this models out to 183. So that's the size of the district. You have the shape of the district, in the documents we shared.
And the other reasoning behind this parcel is because town water will be eventually going down there, and town water is required.
So this district and bylaw were submitted to for pre-adoption review to the MBTA Communities Office at the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. That's the new name of DHCD, and for their review. And I expect we'll be getting a response to them within a week. However, we had previously, when the planning board was looking at the District 3 up further on Route 13, had submitted a pre-approval application but then ended up withdrawing it. And in the meantime, however, it had been there long enough that we'd been in communication with the MBTA office, and they were able to give us their feedback, and they liked the bylaw. There was only minimal feedback, which is largely because I'd been in communication with them throughout the process and asking about different proposals and ideas about what went in. So I feel confident. So we resubmitted with the new district. There were only minimal changes made to the bylaw since they had last had a crack at it. And those changes that were requested, I was able to communicate with them via email to get their sense. So I'm feeling confident that they are going to like this bylaw and going to like this district.
I have a quick question. Are other towns also doing that ramp to single within? Or is that?
Westminster is.
Okay.
Other towns in your position, let's see. Ashburnham was considering it if they were going to go with a district like this, an outlying undeveloped piece of land, but they chose instead to go with the district that's actually in their little downtown. And so that that reasoning didn't really apply. But yeah, Westminster intends to do it, and what's more, I have gotten the thumbs up from DHCD. They think that this is they think that Townsend is they're very pleased with you. They're pleased with this town. They think that there's creative solutions. You've been working in good faith to create a good district that meets the requirements, and and they like what they've been hearing. Where we go from here? I'm sorry, if there are any more questions about the, I can take those about the bylaw or district. And if not, I can start talk where the process goes from here. Okay, so like I said, we are waiting to hear back from them just to make sure that what we've got is everything we've got is going to be acceptable, doesn't need any last minute changes. When that comes back, and depending on what changes there are, I get those done. Those then go to the planning board would then vote to submit that to you, to the select board. And it then becomes your process for putting a zoning amendment and a zoning map amendment onto your town meeting. That's coming up onto your fall town meeting. That process typically involves you sending it back to the planning board for a public hearing. They then hold their hearing and go back to you for a recommendation. There is a time requirement for that. Now, you're required to be in compliance to have passed at town meeting this bylaw by December. And just based on discussions with the planning board, yes.
When you say
question?
December, do you mean December 1st or December 30th?
December 31st. So you have yes, you have till the end of the year. January 1st is your due date. They had wanted to schedule a fall town meeting early enough that if anything goes wrong, it could be brought back up before the end of the year. And that schedule brought them to September. And so they're looking for a public hearing from the planning board at least 30 days before that, before the September town meeting date, in order to meet the zoning requirements for advertising and public hearings and for zoning amendments.
Can I ask, there's a set of dates, a timeline in the materials.
Mm-hmm.
So June 18th, you made that deadline, correct? September 18th, 2025. That's when they'll have it back to you for review.
Well, that's they give themselves 90 days from when we submit it they have to come back with a response within 90 days. That's
So
their
a 90
requirement.
day, not a 30-day review period. Okay.
Right.
All right.
They've been working faster than that, though. They understand that time is tight and that communities have these deadlines, and they've been saying to communities and saying to me, let us know what your time constraints are, and we will do our best to get back to communities. That was Townsend's was submitted 1 week after Ashburnham's. I just got a response back about Ashburnham that they're finishing up their review and they want to have one final talk. So I feel like you're about 1 week behind them, and I expect to hear back from the office about Townsend probably next week.
Could you go over these dates and tell us whether they're realistic or not and what they stand for?
Let me pull that up, and I will. Just one moment.
And what we as the select board should be looking for to approve and to make sure we have a fully seated joint meeting with you guys. So I'm just confused because these dates, I mean, it looks like yesterday it should have gone to legal review, July 14th, 2025. I'm confused. So just go over these dates.
Sure, just let me open those dates. I'm sorry, taking me a moment to get here.
Beth, do you want to chime in on that?
Sure. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
I'm the one who actually put those dates on there. And I don't have it in front of me, but I put the date that the pre-approval application was submitted by Andrew and Mr. Boyle, and that was June 18th. I put a 30-day review, like the ultimate day. If they were to wait 30 days, that would have been into September before we got a response. But as Mr. Boyle said, we don't expect that to be the case. It should be coming along within the next week. But I put that in front of you as a worst case scenario. The other date was Nelson and I received an email from town council with an offer from the Attorney General to take a look at a legal review of the bylaw, noting that they had, they noted that we were working towards compliance and that we were still not there. And so that went in yesterday, I think it was. I sent it to Margaret Hurley at the Attorney General's office. Margaret did respond and said she would, give us some feedback as soon as possible. So I don't know what that means, but at least we know it's in her good hands. Beside that, looking at a late September special town meeting would give the planning board plenty of time to hold a public hearing. It doesn't have to be 30 days before that town meeting. It's that statutorily it has, it should be maybe 2 weeks is fine. It could be the night before, but it's not recommended. So, if you could set the meeting date sometime late September, the planning board could hold a public hearing a couple weeks before, and that's it.
Yes, these deadlines are realistic. We fully expect to be able to meet all of them because the MBTA Communities Office has been responding so quickly to these reviews. The legal review from the town council would be a nice thing to have. It would always be helpful, but if it is not timely and forthcoming, it's not strictly necessary. The review from the MBTA Communities Office is really the one that compliance depends on. And they're unlike, and I feel like the Attorney General's office is really going to follow their lead on these. I realize that that being a town, Townsend will be submitting it to both EOHLC and the Attorney General for review, but it's become clear as I've been working on these that it's really EOHLC that's taking the lead. on review of the bylaws. On enforcement, it's really the Attorney General that's taking the lead. Hopefully, we won't get into any sort of enforcement discussion because we won't need to.
For people listening, can you just tell them what EOHLC is?
Yes, it's what used to be the Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, is now the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So once this comes back, how will the planning board be getting this out to the community for review, I guess?
I mean, that seems to be the infinite problem for any board or committee. And sure, and it seems to unfortunately really come to fruition at town meeting when people first become
We'll do a
introduced.
public hearing.
So we will have a public hearing. We'll try to share it digitally for those that have those resources and connections. We can put up flyers.
Maybe put out info at the senior center and
Sure.
the library.
We can do that. We can hit the most traffic spots.
Yeah.
We've got a public
Yes.
forum, potentially.
We did look at, we were talking about, I'm not sure if we've settled on anything, but doing a public forum and having an informational session on it.
Like in August, if everything's back and
Sure.
ready. Late August, maybe. I don't know.
Yep. So, I mean, we're open to doing, just getting as much information out there
Right.
to be accessible for folks.
So originally, when I first heard about this, some dates were floated for the special town meeting. Originally, it was actually around September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Looks like, I think it's been suggested that we push it out even further. I didn't suggest those dates because I didn't know about them to town council or the town moderator. I don't think we necessarily need to decide on a date at the moment for the
I
special
don't think
town
so,
meeting.
but I think it's good to have a target.
Sure. I think
And
those
it
last
looks like
2
we're
weeks-
looking at 2 special town meetings, because we're gonna need one to do this, and then we're gonna need one to set the tax rate. To,
Certified free cash.
and, well, I guess we
No.
don't need a meeting for that, but there may be other things that we need a meeting for.
Well, I think there was something else that we were talking about getting on the same
One is,
thing
it would be good to have certified free cash for,
or something.
ClearGov software,
It
to
won't,
get that
free cash isn't certified until November, December.
December, so it's usually early December.
Yeah.
It needs to be
For this.
certified before, yeah, it is too late for
So
this.
we would have a
But
second,
we would
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
second
we
one
have to
in
do
case
this.
there would be issues here to get it to pass another time.
so I think September 23rd or the 30th, either of those weeks would work.
I like the 30th. But so I think we should shoot for that and hope that everything comes back from the state in time.
I will need to talk to town council and town
Yeah.
moderator to see if they are available, because when I spoke to them, those dates before us were suggested. It's not a big deal, but I just want to make sure that they are available.
It would be good.
I think especially educating people on that, the single family part of it, so they understand that.
And on the top dates before,
Just based on feedback.
select board
Sure.
meeting on the
Little
second,
contentious
and the
topics.
25th.
Yeah, very contentious.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
But certainly looking at other ones that have been built,
But that's what we did.
for the public, we're looking for more variety.
Um, the
So it's possible at,
25th or the 30th?
you're talking about the meeting, the select board meeting or the
No,
special
not
town meeting?
special.
I think we're thinking of a Tuesday, right? Or the 23rd or the 30th of September on Tuesday.
We moved our September meeting to the 24th for some reason.
Because of,
Yeah, we couldn't do the 23rd when we were doing select board dates a few weeks ago. So
the second, we could do the
I think the 30th is open.
30th.
We have a select board
16th.
meeting that day.
We have one that day too?
Yeah, we, at least,
30th?
it's on my calendar. I don't have time on it, so we're good there, but I have we put the 24th and we put the 30th. Do you have that too, Val?
I didn't have the 30th, but I had the 2nd and the 24th. So, do you think that, do you think that we're good with the 30th? Will that fit the time frame?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would be perfect. Yeah.
And then you can do public hearing 2 weeks before, we can join that too. One.
Oh, you should also check on the high school and see if the high school is available,
Oh, okay.
only because it's nicer there.
Okay, yeah, I can check on that.
Acoustics.
So the select board, you guys next meet on July 30th. So conceivably, at that point, we could,
Set
go set all the timelines, you know, when you open the warrant, when it's closed,
For the 30th.
when the actual meeting is. So you can probably set all that if everything goes well, at your next meeting on July 30th.
Okay,
All right.
did you get that? Sabrina?
I have a motion here, draft select board motion.
So it's a suggested motion for the select board, as more symbolic, I believe, than anything.
What's the motion?
We can do it as long as we don't have to have you
Sure,
vote.
sure.
Yeah, because you're not open.
Yeah,
But
just
we
be
are.
select board.
So, yeah, I'll
It's in
do it.
I don't have.
Do you want to show her?
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to support the planning process for compliance with Chapter 40A, Section 3A zoning law, MBTA Communities Act. Move that the town select board formally acknowledge and endorses the planning board's diligent efforts and progress to date in achieving compliance with MGL Chapter 40A, Section 3A zoning law, commonly referred to as the MBTA Communities Act. Furthermore, the select board expresses its support for the next steps, including placing the proposed zoning amendments on the warrant for the special town meeting scheduled for September 30th, 2025, for approval by the voters. The final deadline for the town's compliance is December 31st, 2025.
So second.
I would second with one thing. I would say tentatively scheduled for September 30th. So that Nelson has time to check and make sure everybody's available. And I will second that.
Maybe the week before. Because that's pushing it. Okay, what time is this?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal,
Tiger Chai.
And Marcia Fenner.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All your hard
Thank
work.
you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Beth.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks.
Oops, I don't know if my microphone's on.
Oh, you
Oh, it was on for a minute.
Sorry. Never mind. I was gonna say, just after.
Okay, we don't know. Okay. So now we're at 6:53.
So,
Could I just give one more thing? There's an important sheet here about at-risk grant funding if we are not in compliance.
Yes, that is true.
That everybody should,
On the
Yes.
planning board thing?
well, no, just.
No,
the
just for
public to-
MBTA.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That
Oh,
this should
yeah.
be a,
That should be on the website, actually,
Yeah, it should be.
because that's been the case ever since we started.
Right.
I just want to bring up, the schedule for the rest of the night. We do have 2 executive sessions. The first one is starting in 6 minutes, and we still have, agenda items on the open meeting portion of tonight's meeting.
Mhm.
So I think what we'll probably have to do is, go into executive session, finish both of them, adjourn that, and then come back into the open session to finish things up. Sorry. So TCAM, at 7 o'clock, we are going to suspend the open meeting. We're gonna go into executive session. Finish, executive sessions, and then we'll come back into the open meeting. It's probably gonna take at least an hour for both sessions. So, I think you have to be on standby, for a little bit until we're ready.
So should we go?
Okay with TCAM? Since we're going into what seems to be a long meeting, is it okay if we all just take a quick stop? Make the motion to go into executive? Which first? Make the motion to go into executive at this point, or do we take a break and then go into?
And take a recess.
Possibly coming out of this one?
Yeah.
You have to make this motion.
Okay, we're going into this meeting at approximately 6:56 p.m. for the executive session pursuant to Open Meeting Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual.
Do you have to say this second and two?
At the same time?
Yeah, because we're
Okay,
gonna do.
and 6.2, executive session pursuant to Open Meeting Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to the collective bargaining of an open meeting, if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Clerical union, supervisors union, highway, water, police union, fire union.
Second.
Sorry, are you guys in executive session now? Do I need to like leave or something or?
We're just going into and calling it. You'll be,
So Tom, we are gonna be going into executive session in a few minutes, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave this meeting. You're just gonna pause the recording, and then, maybe in about an hour or so, we'll come back into the open meeting, for the select board.
He has to exit the whole thing, not just pause the recording.
Okay, yeah, so you just need to, what's that?
We have to vote.
No, I understand that, but I'm explaining to TCAM how they're supposed to do it. So,
There's two. Yeah. Oh, there's.
no, there is, but that has nothing to do with TCAM. So, Tom, do you understand, how the sequence of events is going?
So am I pausing or am I just leaving the whole meeting and have to bring it back up or something?
well, can we pause? And we just are out of it here.
Let me see. You can pause recording on your end, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so just hit pause, and then once we're ready, we'll come and get you, or we'll signal you somehow.
Everybody has to exit the meeting though. Or
Yeah, everybody who's on,
it's
No,
not
no.
just pausing the recording.
No, we have a separate Zoom link for the executive session, so. Sure.
All right, whatever. I'll let you guys figure it out.
No, we are definitely leaving the executive meeting.
Do you wanna,
I'm even can't.
we should vote for it.
So, Tom, you're just gonna be pausing the meeting on your end. So let's,
So we are now at 7 o'clock. Do I have a vote to go into the executive session as read?
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
And Laura Schifrin, aye. Thank you, Tom. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for still hanging in there. We have resumed our select board meeting at 9:24 p.m. on July 15th, 2025. We are under 4 meeting business, 4.1, discuss override. It's here for just a reminder that our override ballot is July 29th.
Yeah, and the override, just to reiterate what we voted on at the annual town meeting, is for 258,827, and that is general government 27,619, public safety 138,404, highway and streets 63,395, human services 13,886, culture and recreation 15,523, as was voted on at the special town meeting. And if that override does not pass, we will begin negotiations on salary, wage, and benefit reductions with the unions.
We had already discussed that we were moving 4.4 to the next meeting, and media relations policy
Also to the
revision.
next
We're
meeting.
passing that too, right?
Yes.
To the next meeting. Val, 4.6,
Yeah.
discuss collaborative regional.
You all have a draft letter that I just did. Should be 4.6. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I know it's in here, I've seen it.
So I can read through it. Any thoughts, questions? I can read it out loud.
I think you should read it out loud.
I can read it out loud. And I have wanted, I did Nelson to try to get with the other select board members.
Yeah,
And
I hope this is the first step.
Yeah, have a meeting with them.
So this is to the Capital Select Board and to the Ashby Select Board. Dear fellow North Middlesex School Select Board members, we hope this finds you well and that you're enjoying the summer. The purpose of this letter is to extend an open invitation intended to initiate discussions between our boards in the upcoming years about the potential for collaborative efforts within our region. As a group of towns bound by geography in a regional school district, it may be possible for us to provide opportunities for efficiency and cost savings that benefit our municipal employees, community, and residents. The potential for partnerships across our towns could allow for things such as shared resources and expertise, improved service quality, collective problem solving and innovative solutions to current fiscal strains, regional and economic development. As we exit FY25 and enter planning and goal setting for FY27, we welcome all discussions about the potential benefits of collective efforts across departments. As existing municipal partners in education, there may be other areas that can benefit from that same cooperation. Thank you for your time and consideration, Townsend Select Board.
The only thing that I would, do we need to ask for a response? What's the next step for those select boards? That's the only thing that I think.
I'd like to have an in-person meeting with them. They were open.
Could we, suggest meeting sometime in late August or something like that? Mid-August, whenever.
Second week in September.
Or something like that, put a time in there for them getting back to us, or otherwise it may just get
lost.
Yeah, but I think it's good.
I'd love to hear from you.
And I think we should send it and sign. We would love to hear from you with potential meeting dates in late August or sometime in mid-August to mid-September or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. And Once I finish this, I'll just leave it, if everybody want to sign it or stamp.
Yes, stamp or sign, either way is fine.
Okay. And somebody can stamp or sign.
So do we need a motion to send the letter with, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to send a letter to the Pepperell and Ashby Select Boards regarding, joint efforts for collaboration. To be signed out of session.
I would second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Roll call.
Veronica Cal,
Sorry for the jar.
Marsha and I.
Thank you.
Okay. 7. No, I think we were gonna take care of that one.
Oh, the animals,
It has the red corrections.
you were
here.
gonna read it and with the corrections, yep.
I have a clean copy that I can print out, so it's really not as distracting. Would that help?
I'll do that.
You know?
Let me print it out.
Yes, it wouldn't be bad, I guess.
I think that, next meeting will be good, do the second reading, and approve it. It looks good. Yeah, that's the corrected thing.
Would you like me to make a first reading of the animals and public building policy?
And can I ask a question? Is this an update then?
This is updated.
So under, this would be policy,
07/2019.
it replaces policy 07/2019. So this would be policy, whatever the number 2020
5, whatever it is for 2025.
replace.
This is the first reading, right? Yeah, it's a revision and it's the first reading, so, it'll be read at the next reading again. And the dates, of course, on the bottom will be changed. 13,
Number 0625.
So,
So basically, it just added that authorized police dogs.
So do you want to read it? Because it changes words too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Select Board Policy 06/2025, animals in public buildings. Purpose: the town of Townsend is responsible for assuring the health and safety of all employees and members of the public who either work in or visit our municipal buildings. Animals may pose a threat or may cause allergic reactions. Some individuals may also be distracted by the presence of animals, particularly dogs. Policy: the town of Townsend does not permit employees or visitors to bring animals into municipal buildings other than service animals as defined herein, or authorized police dogs, canines, in service with the Townsend Police Department. An employee or visitor who requires the help of a service animal, as defined by federal regulation in 28 CFR 36.104, quote, any dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of an individual with a disability, unquote, will be permitted to bring a service animal into a municipal building, provided that the animal's presence does not create a danger to others and does not impose an undue hardship upon the town's employees or operations. Therapy or comfort animals are not considered service animals and are likewise prohibited unless they are brought into a town building with express authorization by the Select Board or its designee as a part of a town-sponsored program.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Motion for the second reading on July 30th, 2025.
I think so moved.
Second,
Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Gotta get a try.
Laura Schiffern, aye. Thank you. 4.8. That's the sign of deed.
Yes.
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, this is the deed for the parcels that were transferred in the May 2022 town meeting from the town of Townsend to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Yeah.
And so the certificate of vote is here so that you can see what was in the town meeting. That's a certified certificate of vote. And the deed is a quitclaim deed, which is for the parcels that were transferred via the vote. And all we need to do is sign on the back. So we need a motion to accept, to sign the deed. And we can do that out of session if you want. And it needs to be notarized. So, yeah. And then we also need the certificate of vote. So the motion would be to move that the select board convey as authorized by Article 22 of the Townsend Special Town Meeting, the following properties shown on the assessor's map as to the Townsend Affordable Trust, all is described and pursuant to said Article 22.
I hereby move that the select board convey as authorized by Article 22 of the Townsend Special Town Meeting of May 3rd, 2022, the following properties shown on the assessor's maps as parcel 34740, parcel 34800, parcel 10520, parcel 10700, parcel 2551, parcel 28570 to the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust, all as described and pursuant to said Article 22.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Barbara Chai.
Laura Schiffern, aye. And that was to sign out of session. This has to be with, the
Yeah, so we'll have to come in and get this to him and
yeah.
sign.
Thank you. Review, discuss, approve Vadar contract. Nelson?
So Vadar is the accounting software that we use here in town to do all of our accounting. It is a new 3-year contract with them. So it's something that's paid out of the Treasury Collector's Office, this software. So I'm just looking for, let's see, for you to give me
Did you get authorization to sign, but has this been seen by town council?
It has not, so the motion could be
Subject to.
contingent on town council's review.
How does the treasurer like the software? And is this the first contract with the software? No, is this a continual?
This is what we use for everything, pretty much, for down in the treasurer and accounting office.
Okay.
This is how all the monies get tracked, everything.
Yep, the budget, all the various capital budgets, all the special town meeting articles, all that. It's in Vadar.
Yeah. You're usually either a Vadar system, there's another system that gets used. There's two systems typically used in the state.
Munis is the big one.
Munis is the other one. So you're either a Vadar shop or a Munis shop. And we're a Vadar shop.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to, allow the town administrator to sign the Vader contract pending,
Review.
town council review out of session.
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion? None, roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schiffern, aye. Okay. 1410, discuss potential hiring freeze.
Do you want me to start? I just think it would be wise, given the fiscal situation, that we just pause on hiring until we know the result of the 29th vote. That's all. And so I would pause until our meeting on the 30th. I think that any positions that are vacant, we just hold up on.
Is there a motion?
I would make a motion to enact a temporary hiring freeze until the results of the ride are certified. To be discussed.
I will second that.
Okay. And so that's our discussion that after the override vote, we will meet and discuss our options.
Right.
And we are meeting on the 30th, so just so everybody knows, we're gonna adjust it right away. Roll call to, freeze any hiring until after the override vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schiffern, aye. 411, special town election warrant.
So, the warrant for this needs to be, reviewed by town council. You guys need to sign it, and then it gets posted at various locations by, the police department. Currently, the, warrant language is with town council for their review. So I think you guys should make a motion to, sign the warrant out of session pending town council, approval.
Yeah, because when does it have to be posted?
No later than the 22nd.
Okay, 1 week, okay, 1 week before the election.
And more likely than not, it will be posted later this week.
So we have to sign.
Would you advise,
You could.
So.
just have to? Okay, we'll discuss.
Motion.
I make a motion to accept the,
Signed.
to sign the warrant for the special town election pending town council approval out of session.
I will second that.
Okay. And if anybody needs to, they will let Sabrina know to use their stamp. So roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Laura Schiffern, aye. 412, status update on grants.
Could we possibly move this to another meeting? There's probably a lot to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can we do that on the 30th? Is that, I do want to know where we are, but this is the list for the.
I don't think everything's here. I think that, oh, yeah, it is. It's just teeny. Okay. July 30th.
Okay, so that's going, July. 113, discuss a former assistant town accountant's request to waive professional development expenses.
So, the former assistant town accountant's contract had language in it that If we paid for professional development expenses and that individual left within 2 years of us paying for those expenses, they would have to, the town could recoup those expenses. Those expenses total $1,800 at the moment, and they're requesting that the select board with having to recoup those expenses.
Okay, that was a signed contract.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So I think the options are you can waive all of it, some of it, or none of it. It is up to the select board to make that decision. But yes, according to the signed contract, the town could recoup those expenses.
Didn't we also give money that wasn't in the contract, but was just like a handshake between Eric and?
Oh, it wasn't a handshake.
No, it was
in writing?
It was in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was there. But are we motioning or discussing, or what are we doing?
Your pleasure.
We'll discuss before.
And maybe I should let everybody else talk because I was on the board when this contract was signed.
I mean, I don't know, I don't have a lot of history on this. From what I understand, this person was starting to take over more duties from the town accountant. So, and I don't know if they were being compensated for those increased responsibilities or not.
That was the agreement between why Eric gave the increase. So the assistant town accountant went from like, I don't know, step 2 to step 12. Or do you know the exact on the scale in that 1 year? So the contract was written. I need to go to the contract, which I believe is up now. I have it in my bag. The contract was written such that we didn't have an accountant and we were having difficulty hiring one.
It was an 11-step job.
And yes, and so we, the assistant town accountant was working for the highway department and subbing in to this office in Sabrina's job for a period of time because we needed the help. When we couldn't hire an accountant, and around the same time that Melissa was hired, we were also posted for an accountant, and we interviewed and we tried twice to hire. We had an interim accountant in place. And so the interim accountant had been there like a year and said, yeah, I'm out. And so we hired Markham. It wasn't Markham at the time, or maybe was. Anyway, we hired the people, we hired them. And they were in place during the time that we were trying to hire. And finally, we decided that we would grow our own accountant. And so the wording for professional development, you can see it here at the bottom, number 9. And so we paid for the training. Without that training, the assistant town accountant could not have gone to another municipality.
So
it says all tuition and travel expenses will be reimbursed should the assistant town accountant leave employment with the town less than 2 years after attending courses for which the town reimbursed tuition and travel expenses. The town will recoup the cost of this reimbursement from the assistant town accountant's final paycheck and our unused vacation time. So in other words, we were paying for training for the position, but we wanted the accountant to stay.
So the response of the employee was, they made the difficult decision to resign due to the denial of additional compensation despite taking on substantial additional responsibilities, including acting as town accountant.
So last year in June, the addendum was this. So it was moved from step 2 to step whatever, 13. So that increase was made. And
did it actually go into fruition?
Absolutely. It's why we had to do the municipal transfer of like $8,000 to $10,000 for the accountant's, assistant accountant's salary, like last meeting or so. We made, so all last year, the contract is written such that the salary increases in subsequent years. So it was placement on the compensation and classification plan at grade F, step 2. In the following years, it would be receives an annual performance evaluation, 1 step, and then any cost of living adjustment. And we did not change this. So for fiscal year 26, it would have been the same increase that everybody else got. In the budget, the assistant town accountant requested another $10,000 or so, which would have put that position outside of the wage matrix, and the contract was for a step up. And given the financial system, in other words, we expected after 3 years that it would be a personal services contract similar to what other department heads have. So that's the deal.
Was that 10,000 justified in responsibilities? Increased responsibilities? Nelson?
You mean what was
proposed and then was not?
Well, it was talked about, I believe. It was never memorialized in writing anywhere, which I think is where the issue came into play. Maybe it was talked about, maybe promised, but unless it's actually in writing and signed by everybody, it doesn't really matter. I do think the assistant town accountant took on more and more responsibilities from the town accountant's plate. So I do think in a lot of ways that increase would have been justified and had a lot of merit to it. But given the financial situation we're in, I think it's a tough position that we're potentially talking about reductions to wages and salaries. And here we would be giving an individual a $10,000 increase. The optics of that are not very great.
And we're asking everybody in personal services to take a pay cut, or we potentially will be.
Do you think that would have resulted in a lower contract with CBIZ or? Yeah.
Yes. The CBIZ contract went down
5,000. Well, we weren't even going to go to CBIZ if the assistant town accountant had stayed on. I remember it was
so that would have been recouped by that contract not being.
It would have only been 5,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But again, it's the optics. Yeah, the financial situation there.
So is there a motion
Make a motion to waive professional service development expenses for the former assistant town accountant.
Second.
discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, no.
But I feel like abstaining from this one just because I wasn't involved in the discussions around the salary. Last, for the.
We have an executive session.
Oh, see, I feel like I don't have that information, so I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, vote for it. And we've already closed the discussion, but we're looking at what we want.
I would. We'll back up the discussion.
Pardon me? Yeah, we can.
I would think the issue isn't so much whether or not the money for the increase was approved as it is the question about whether or not the contract states that she reimburses the town for the training that was provided, which, as I understand it, is a phenomenal amount, I think, 200 or something.
1,800.
I would suggest we meet for halfway. It's not a huge amount, and although I do agree with Veronica, she couldn't have taken that expertise somewhere else without that training, and technically she does owe the town. However, we probably did get $900 worth out of that training. I would recommend meeting for halfway.
I'm a no. A contract is a contract. I could not, if it was the deal. It was the deal. And I would agree that if at the end of this coming fiscal year or even midway through, I would have been happy to reevaluate come October after we knew what our financial situation was, but we didn't. But the deal's done, and the contract. What does a contract mean if it's not there? I mean, I know I can talk about high tech. You get a sign-on bonus, and you have to stay 2 years. And I know for a fact that if you don't stay those 2 years, you have to pay back the money from the sign-on bonus. And I see this, it's a contract. It's, and it's nice to be nice. I can appreciate what you're saying, Callie, and this isn't a personal thing. It's, it was the deal. We were growing our own accountant, and we paid to grow our own accountant, but we don't get the benefit of that.
Right.
And there was no guarantee.
In our last meeting about that's what we were counting on, but instead we're going to use the accounting firm and we're going to end up paying off the same amount of money.
Yeah, we are for the two. So in any event, that's just how I feel. Why are we signing any contracts if we aren't going to stick by them? Is what I feel. And it's a small amount of money. That is true. It's not 20,000. Trust me, sign-on bonuses are way bigger than this that you have to repay. But I'm sorry, I'm a no.
Motion fails.
So the motion was for the full amount. Would you consider taking up a motion for half the amount?
I just remember the executive meeting, and
we don't have minutes for that yet.
Oh, well, a contract's a contract.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
So we're not taking up a motion for it.
Unless there's a motion. There is no motion. Okay. That's it. Can I have you, if the board pleases, to take Callie 416?
Yeah, let's do that.
You wanna come to the, so we're closer?
Actually, may I go ahead and speak? I actually would like to, and I don't know if this requires any formality or not, but I would like to redact the probationary employee element from the request so that the select board can concentrate on allowing authorization for the town administrator to terminate seasonal employees when required. It is a low risk to the town liability wise, and the operational benefit to the rec department is substantial, because by the time if it weren't to be changed and a termination was required, it would require notification, it would require a hearing. By the time we're done with all those things, summer rec program is over. They're at-will employees. Unemployment is not usually an issue because they're typically students, and so they go to school full-time the off-season. That's not a guarantee because this is the state of Massachusetts, but they typically wouldn't qualify for that. So it's just very low risk and operationally would benefit the rec department. So I'd like to concentrate just on the seasonal employee element of the request.
Cemetery and parks also have seasonal. Doesn't the water department have seasonal?
They have interns.
Interns.
Yes, but cemetery and park does have seasonal, yeah.
And does this apply to interns in the water department? I mean, well, go ahead, you guys can talk.
No, you can go ahead.
We can't just make this about the rec.
No, we can't.
They can't,
It-
to these students.
Right.
All right, my thoughts are all hiring and firing needs to go through the select board. I don't know what happened with the town clerk, but hey, you know, that's the way it goes. We have a town administrator, not a town manager. A town manager would probably have that ability anyway, but our charter is hiring and firing is through the select board. The way this is written, it assumes that HR exists, which it does at this point, but what if it doesn't? And yeah, you could review it. I guess if the thought is that people aren't able to get a work permit or able to get their testing done, the required physical testing that's needed prior, then we should be starting a lot earlier, as opposed to, you know, that if they don't have it by the start date, they shouldn't be put in place.
Isn't that already a policy?
I would have thought so.
Oh, it is. It is, but so they have to go back and get the school's signature. Sometimes in the summer, it's a little bit difficult. So summer rec may have started and we're waiting for, so they're onboarded, but we're waiting for a permit. They've already gotten an offer letter, they've been appointed by the board, you know, so technically they're hired, but then they don't get their permit back in time.
I thought they were hired pending completion of those things.
So like, I know when I was in the trustees library, there's times where we have to wait for someone to start while those pieces of paperwork are being completed.
And that
So is this an exception?
If it's a seasonal and in particular, and you don't have it when the program starts, you shouldn't be onboarded, is what it comes down to in my mind.
So, but
if
by the
in the
time it gets to that
library-
point, like, let's say for this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but, so like, this year and all years prior, the select board appoints these individuals to the role before all of that, which I've always thought was backwards, but I think the board should, but that's another discussion. But the board appoints those individuals before they meet those contingencies.
We used to make it, we used to when we hired, now we just appoint. And we don't say contingent on blah, 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 with a start date of blah, blah, blah. We don't say that anymore. That changed around the time that Eric came in. We used to do our appointments differently. You can see it in the agendas. We've changed that because the thought was, well, they're going to do that anyway, and they'll start when that date is. Maybe we need to go back to that for seasonal employees.
So, but I just want to clarify. Can an employee start without those things being completed?
They are not supposed to start without those things being completed. However, the assistant town clerk has started prior to those contingencies being met, but that is an anomaly.
So the rec people generally don't start before those conditions are met.
I haven't heard of anybody being able to start before those conditions were met. So I don't know why there's an exception. And I would like to know why there's an exception.
Right, well, that's another conversation, but that is not how it is supposed to.
But so then related to this, it's the timing that we're worried about with seasonal employees of not being able to terminate them prior to meeting with the select board and all that stuff.
Well, that's a big element of it. It's also fairly low risk. I don't know if there's anything in between, perhaps authorizing the TA to do that and having an entire hearing. Maybe the TA has a conversation with one of the board members who can, I don't know if there's a middle ground there.
If they're not, sorry, go ahead.
No, there's not even.
So do they have to have a whole hearing?
They do, because the reason why I consulted legal on this, the reason why is because the board appoints them, which I would also like to discuss at some other point.
So tonight, for instance, tonight we did appoint a person to the recreation department as a summer rec counselor for summer recreation 2025, effective start date 7/21/25.
I have not gotten any paperwork on that individual. That person has not been onboarded, and I have not met that person.
And that person starts in 6 days.
Yeah, so what did we get on this person?
So if I were a select board member, I would not want to appoint anyone until they made those contingencies, but I don't know how other towns do it, but.
So,
I guess, so based on our charter, we have to appoint all new employees, correct?
But not originally. There was a list of certain roles, certain, like building commissioner, like there was a specific list of roles that the board would have to appoint. And then at some point along the line, I don't know when, a vote was had to appoint all employees, including seasonal, temporary.
But so what is specified?
As long as I have been, my last round of select board, we hired everybody.
So it was made a while ago that. But if you look at the charter, or I don't know which one.
I remember something in the charter that as Callie said, it was literally a list of positions that the select board would appoint. Now, I don't know if that means if you're not on that list, the select board doesn't need to be the appointing authority. That I don't know
what that means.
What town council said?
She said that because the board appointed the seasonal employee, that if there were a problem and you needed to terminate the seasonal employee, we would have to give notice, we would have to have a hearing and all of that stuff. So we have to wait till the next meeting, and then after the notice, and then we would have to make that determination and, the program's only so long.
Is the person still working?
Well, I'm not here by a particular person,
Oh,
but if that scenario were to come up, it would pose a problem, in particular if there was an issue where there was an emergency situation. There isn't even a clause that the TA can terminate for gross misconduct. Everything
sounds
has
like
to
a-
wait. So if there
this
were a
sounds like a
situation,
charter issue in that case.
what's that?
It sounds like an issue with the charter if that's the case.
Yeah, but I think I saw somewhere on one of the minutes somewhere a vote for the board to appoint all employees, but it might have just been referencing to like the annual vote that you do to reappoint like the officers and whatnot. So I don't know if that's what, or if it was actually a vote to going forward appoint all employees, but the charter does not state that. But that's not why we're here. I mean, because it's that they've already been appointed. So the question is whether or not if we have a delicate situation that requires immediate action that cannot be had unless the authorization is given to the TA, what can we do in that case? So is there middle ground between the hearing and allowing the
Well,
authorization?
what
It can
is
be
town
temporary
council say?
too.
What
They
are our
said
choices?
that they would advise the select board to authorize the town administrator to terminate seasonal and probationary employees, but the probationary employees is not as much of a concern because it's not, I mean, typically they're long-term employees,
Yeah.
so.
I believe capital can terminate probationary employees by hearing.
That's what should be changed, terminating without a hearing. And
For
Well,
seasonal or
Probationary.
probationary, yeah.
I would not for probationary,
No, I think Kelly wanted to.
take that
To
away.
reduce.
We're
the
not
scope.
discussing probationary.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd just rather concentrate, your consideration on the seasonal because that's more important to me. But if you want to consider both, that's fine too. I just don't want the whole thing to be thrown out because they're combined in one request.
Right, and I just
So-
want to say for the record, I did not ask for this. It was a situation that HR and town council came up with a solution, to a potential problem. So, I didn't ask for this. I don't really even want it, but given,
Well, certainly whatever would go on with whoever the chair is. I think a select board, it wouldn't just be done in a vacuum.
of course,
That would have to be
Yeah.
specified though.
sure, I mean,
Because,
Yeah, I think we should put that in writing because we don't
Unless
want
we
to,
specify it has to be
Yeah.
with the chair.
Yeah, that's fine too. That's fine too.
Yeah,
And
that was.
changes from time to
Yeah.
time, so.
I'm not looking to make unilateral decisions, it's,
Did you find anything in the charter about it?
So at least somebody knows.
it's with concurrence from a department head and, chair of the select board. before
well,
this
to
is-
Veronica's point, I mean, you have HR now, but maybe not always. So, I mean, this can be a temporary thing or a trial or what have you also.
Here it is,
And you can,
What
or you
does
can
it say?
redact it.
appointment authority under select board powers and
What
duties or
section
whatever.
is it?
It's in the charter, section 3(2). D, town employees, except as otherwise provided in this charter, the select board shall appoint town employees. Multiple member boards, except as otherwise hereinafter provided, the select board shall appoint members of multiple member bodies. Other appointments, the select board shall appoint the members of other multiple member bodies, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's the first one, except as otherwise provided, the select board shall appoint town employees. It doesn't matter whether they're seasonal, probationary, interns, whatever. It's the
Yeah, well, probationary would be any employee in their first.
Yeah, I mean, it
yeah.
could,
All town employees, if you're paid by the town, you get appointed by the board of selectmen,
they're
and
all
it's in the
1
charter.
So I guess there's a question, does it make sense for that for seasonal employees in the future? Is that a change you want to make?
I wouldn't change the appointment. So then, but if we appoint them, then who terminates? That would be the select board as well. And then for process, you probably have to look at the personnel policies and procedures.
I think that's why council suggested that you provide the authorization to the TA to terminate because you appointed them. It wouldn't be that you would still appoint them going forward.
Yeah, but we
But
would
if there
terminate
was
them.
an issue,
I'm not willing to change that.
There's an issue going on, I think we have to have it addressed. And
I don't disagree with that. The question is how to address it.
It's a seasonal employee.
So I guess the question though is, what about if it was the same issue with a non-seasonal employee? Would we,
then there's a process.
It's, but an emergency situation, right? Yeah, I know that's not what this question is, but I actually think it's related, right? Say there's an emergency situation with a full-time employee that's been here for 10 years. Isn't it kind of the same?
So then I would say.
it is, but I'm picking my battles today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
To
It is.
change it,
We're not going to
so
win that one.
emergency situation with, consultation with the board of the chairman of the
I
board,
would say whether
or something like that. I would be okay with that.
safety
Yeah.
consideration or gross misconduct. And gross misconduct is very specified by the law. It's not like we get to decide what is gross, because they yelled across the room. That's not gross misconduct. It's, it's
I don't know.
theft and so forth. That by law is immediate termination unless you work.
And
So then it's not related to the seasonal.
Sabrina has something.
I was saying, it doesn't mean, the vote tonight on this, doesn't make it necessary to change the charter.
No, where we just kind of got
I don't
off
think
on
it
that
changed.
topic.
I don't
But
think it changed the
maybe
charter
it's a change of policy and the policies and procedures, personnel policies and
I mean,
procedures.
the vote would take without a change of the charter.
You don't have to change the charter.
We're not changing appointments, so we wouldn't have to change the. Okay, I didn't search for termination.
What was the section for appointments? It's 4 or 3?
3-2, and I think it's D, appointment authority.
We should be doing something so we can hands-on.
So are we saying that we,
Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit easier.
Okay.
I try not to, trying to maintain privacy and confidentiality, but I'm going to now, I don't want to rescind my other request because that's still out there to consider, but I would like to make a new request now to give the TA authorization to terminate a seasonal employee for the next 5 days. Over the next 5 days, not to terminate, keep terminating for 5 days from now, between now and 5 days, to have that authorization. And I will say that it is in regard to a particular circumstance. That is a emergency situation that we need to respond to and cannot wait to another board meeting. It deserves to, everybody here deserves an answer. And,
I'd like to hear a motion to have that done. If I could.
I would make a motion to allow the town administrator to terminate seasonal employees due to safety considerations or gross misconduct for the next week. Seems really.
If it's legal, I will second it.
it's legal, it's all vetted through council.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Veronica Kell abstain.
Aye.
Or Schiffern, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Kelly.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Okay.
It's 4:14. Approved. Okay. 4:14 to approve purchase of 6-wheeler dump truck with plow and sander.
I mean, I'm looking at resignation termination. I'm sorry, I'm back on the other thing. Seasonal employees. Each seasonal worker shall be considered as terminated from his or her seasonal employment as noted by the department supervisor on the change in state form filed with the town treasurer at their initial appointment. No idea what that means.
Because they're seasonal, they just swapped without our.
Noted by the department supervisor on the state, on the change in state form.
That doesn't quite explain who does
Is that in
the
the charter?
No, this is in the personnel policies and
personnel policy.
procedures,
Oh,
Article
that's 'cause-
17, resignations and
Because the season is
terminations.
over, so the state has changed maybe.
So they stated at when the person is appointed. Anyway, okay, done. Let's move on.
Thank you.
So the 6-wheel dump truck, we're gonna be purchasing it through a particular cooperative contract, so we don't have to go out to bid for it. Most vehicles are done through either a state contract or some sort of cooperative bid. We have a quote, and we think if we have them start fabricating, we should take delivery sometime in October, just in time for the winter season.
This is budgeted.
This was, it's a town meeting article.
Yeah, no, just making sure.
Yep.
Yeah, capital,
Chapter 90.
and no, this is not, this should be borrowing
Yeah.
with the first payment coming out of
The
capital stabilization.
Correct. And we actually came in a little bit under budget as well. So you would just authorize me as the signatory for the quote that's been provided to us.
I would make a motion to allow the town administrator to act as a signatory on the purchase of the 6-wheel dump truck with plow and sander.
Second,
Any further discussion?
is Melissa aware?
Yep.
Of the borrowing
She is.
and she'll pull the funds for to help with, I don't know how it works.
Nope, she is aware of it and she's working behind the scenes to
Okay.
make that happen.
Perfect.
Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Kell, aye.
Good job.
Or Schiffern, aye. Now the
Sorry
next
to
one
be
is 15, so that is the paving, West paving highway, chapter 90 paving request.
Okay, so this is Shirley Road, South Street, and Warren Road, from South Street to Turner Road. Looks good to me.
A motion.
I make a motion to approve the Highway Department's Chapter 9 paving request. To use a portion of Chapter 90 funds totaling the amount of $531,864.11. As specified.
Second.
The Highway Department.
Okay, good. Shirley Road, South Street, and Warren Road.
So we need to sign these?
Yeah. Did you guys second? Did you actually know that?
I seconded.
We didn't vote on it
Made
yet,
the
though.
motion.
Did we vote?
No, you didn't vote on it.
I said motion.
Veronica Cal, aye.
I'm gonna try for motion.
And I
Motion,
seconded.
You seconded.
Yeah, you didn't vote on it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, do you want another roll call?
No, I think we did.
Okay.
Sure, so those will get paid, sometime this summer into the fall.
Good. Okay, so we have to work session. Administrative records.
There's a few updates. The Kids Country Playground, the structure that is being, replaced has, the old structure has already been taken down by the Highway and Cemetery and Parks Department. The ground has been leveled out and we're actually hoping to do a soft opening of the playground since, there's no longer, construction going on. There's no debris as well, so I think we can, for the next few weeks, give that park back to the residents to make use of until the new structure is being installed in mid-August.
Okay.
Highway, parks and cemeteries are super quick in getting that structure down, so kudos to them for all the hard work that they put in to get that done so quickly. The sidewalk project right there on 119 South Street has been completed. They were doing some sort of punch list items. There was an issue that kind of cropped up this week, but the contractor was very responsive, came out early today after only being given notice yesterday afternoon. Came out and fixed the issue, so very responsive. I'm really happy to see how that project came out. Took us a few tries to.
Can I ask about that?
Sure.
At the lights, are they doing the rapidly flashing beacons for the traffic lights on the four corners there?
I think that still needs to be probably reprogrammed. Are there currently lights there?
There's a traffic light.
Yeah,
At South Street.
I think
on 119.
it needs to be reprogrammed by the.
I haven't seen one.
I haven't either. Not the traffic lights, the sidewalk lights to cross the street there.
Oh, I don't think so.
They didn't put them
I
there?
haven't seen that at all since they finished the work.
The sidewalk, they did the sidewalk down and across. And I thought that at all four, I'm asking this because I wrote the grant for the Mass Trails. That was the original 130,000 or whatever we got for it. And there was to be a rapidly RFB or whatever it is going across there, across the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became more expensive because I thought we had to put crosswalks in, handicapped accessible for all four corners there.
I don't
And
recall
I-
that being the scope for this project. I think,
It could have changed because
I
was
think,
Deadlines aren't there yet.
I can look into it, but it's very
Okay,
possible,
but-
it's very possible, given the budget that was cut out of it.
So are there walk lights going across so people can cross the street as pedestrians?
There is a,
Is there?
I think,
I can't definitively give you an answer.
Okay,
but
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Even though I drive by it every single day, I'll need to look into that.
Because when I went down there, I thought, this does not look the way it was supposed to.
there's an old one. Just make
There,
it longer.
yeah, but there were supposed to be new ones installed, and that's why it became so expensive.
I'll look into it, but I'm almost certain that new lights being installed is not part of the scope of the current project. I don't think the budget would have
New crosswalks.
would have accommodated that.
Okay.
So, the last thing I wanted to give a quick update on was we finished the interviews for the webmaster position. So I think I just need to talk to Lori to figure out who we plan to appoint to that position. So I think at the next select board meeting, there'll probably be an agenda item to appoint someone to that position pending, what our recommendation would be.
Okay, hiring freeze.
So, excuse me?
We have a hiring freeze.
Oh, that's right. All right.
So, well, next one's not till the 30th, so we'll know by then.
That's a hiring freeze for that.
But it's.
But the interviews have been completed, so, you know, but-
Well, I hear it's okay to hire, so it doesn't matter what the select board thinks. Go ahead.
Okay.
that was the last update I had.
Not this week.
I think we took care of my two things during the regular meeting.
And I was gonna report on planning board last night, and they were there too.
Perfect.
So,
All
other
right.
than that, we are still looking for volunteers, and there are plenty of positions. And then, Val, I think you have an announcement to read? for
Yeah,
us?
I have an announcement from the TEO about a summer celebration and fundraiser on the town common. The date is Saturday, August 23rd, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the town common. The TEO invites the entire community to a vibrant, family-friendly summer celebration and fundraiser on Saturday, August 23rd, 2025, on the historic town common. Townsend Common. The event will feature something for everyone, including cornhole tournament, farm stands, Made in Massachusetts marketplace, kids, games and activities, food trucks, live music, gifts, baskets, raffles, bake sale, and a beer and wine garden from 5 to 8:30 p.m. And I'm assuming this announcement will be on the website.
Something fun. I believe you can go on the website, the announcement. Sure. I don't know if you can get the whole thing on there,
So do we need an alcohol?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a license
Yeah,
needed
it's not
for?
tonight. It's not on tonight.
Okay.
A request that come in, but there's additional paperwork and documentation that's needed. So that.
So that's,
Probably the next one, yeah.
okay.
Meeting is Tuesday, July 30th at 6 p.m. Election is on July 29th. Big day. We have, the sign up, okay. The 5.5, review sign payroll bills, payable warrants out of session, is there a motion?
I move that we sign payroll and bills payable warrants out of session.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none, roll call.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Tyler Goodrich, aye.
Motion and I. And if there's no other business, I believe I'll entertain a motion at 10:34 p.m.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 10:33 p.m. 33. Second.
My watch is better than the clock. It's 34 now. Roll call, please.
Veronica Kell, aye.
Tyler Goodrich, aye.
Worship and I. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank
Tim.
you.